Even if you were in a dark cave in Siberia, a piece of shiny green rock would catch your eye. As the miners get closer, they can see more and more of it. Hello everyone. In today's video, we'll talk about how an old bracelet was found in a cave by archaeologists. This could make us think differently about the past. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates. Let's get started. Experts notice that this rock has been chipped and shaped into a bracelet, but they also know that this 70,000-year-old piece of jewelry could not have been made by people. Experts found a band in a cave that might change the course of history. The cave where this amazing find was made is in the Altai area of Siberia, which is the least populated of all of Russia's republics and districts. The wild beauty of Altis is even more beautiful because there are no houses there. There are mountains all over the area, and Mount Balaka is the highest point in the district. Trekkers have found many important fossils in the cave, including the bones of a giant mammoth. They have found 66 kinds of animals and 50 kinds of birds, but the green bracelet might be one of the most interesting things they have found. Experts said it was made with human-like tools and techniques, but they also found that it wasn't made by people. It turned out that the cave was home to the person who made the jewelry. In 2008, researchers went back to the Altai region of Russia to look for clues about the past in a rocky cave. They found a bone from a woman's finger and a half-digit. It was made by the original artists, who used chlorite, a material that changes color throughout the day, to shape the piece. Professor Anatoly Derevianko, who used to work at the Novosibirsk Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography, told the Siberian Times about the piece. Since chlorite doesn't grow in the area where the piece was, experts figured that the stone itself must have been important to the people who made the jewelry. Since chlorite could only be found about 125 miles from the cave, researchers studying the bracelet thought that the people who used it to make jewelry must have thought it was important. The chlorite bracelet had some scratches and bumps from being worn in Siberia's Altai region, where people walk a lot, but the scratches and bumps seemed to have been smoothed out. This gave archaeologists another clue that the person who made the bracelet must have had the tools to do so, and the bracelet may have had more decorations on it to make it even more beautiful. Derevianko said that he and other experts knew this because there is a small polished area on the outside of the bracelet near the hole. This area is where the bracelet was in close contact with a soft organic material. The researcher thought it might have been a leather strap. Derevianko thought that the heavy charm on the leather straps might have scratched the chlorite to make that smooth area. In 2017, a researcher at the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography in Novosibirsk named Maxim Kozlikin told the Daily Mail that the band was between 65,000 and 70,000 years old. Based on these new facts, the finds are higher. Kozlikin called the band a wonder of creation and a world-level phenomenon because it changed what scientists think the level of technology on Earth was 70,000 years ago. Derevianko told the Siberian Times that this ancient species not only drilled into the chlorite, but also used other tools. People used to think that Paleolithic people didn't have the skills to drill, grind, and polish leather and skins with different levels of tanning. But old master craftsmen could do all of these things. This technology wouldn't have been used until the Neolithic Age, which started about 12,000 years ago and lasted for up to 6,000 years. Scientists learned more about the Denisovans from the piece of bone from the ex-woman that was found in the Altai cave. The hollow stays at 32 degrees. In 2008, the DNA in the bones was still intact. When scientists looked at the DNA in the bones, they got a better idea of who the Denisovans were. They found out that this species, Neanderthals, and humans all came from the same parent. However, the Siberian community split off about 1 million years before the other two species. The DNA also showed that the Denisovans came from Africa, but not in the same way that people did. Tests showed that the species came from a movement between these two events and had more in common with Neanderthals than with people living today. The DNA showed when Denisovans and modern people stopped sharing genes. This happened 500 to 150,000 years ago, and the species split from Neanderthals 250 to 300,000 years later, possibly in the Middle East, before reaching the Altai cave. More study on the Denisovans has shown that they started living in the famous cave about 50,000 years ago, but scientists still don't know what this community looked like. Experts have only found the bone of a woman's old finger, 2 teeth, a toe, and a piece of another species' skull. The jawbone is important because it was the first piece of a Denisovan found outside of Siberia, where their name comes from. The fact that it was there showed that the animal lived there 160,000 years ago. Mikhail Shankov, the head of the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography, said that the 70-year-old piece of earth from the cave that made up the band showed that the species was far ahead of humans at the time. In the same layer where we found a Denisovan bone, we found other interesting things. The Denisovans carefully made these pieces of jewelry. Shankov pointed out that they used very advanced methods and tools to make their goods, so the chlorite bracelet was a symbol of how smart the old people were. Shankov said that the jewelry was made with modern tools and that none of their other coworkers had come close. The most advanced of the 3 ancient human ancestors, Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans, however, what experts know about the genetics of the Denisovans makes them look like the most primitive of the 3. Still, there are questions about the chlorite band among some experts. Most recently, a pair of studies that came out at the beginning of 2019 and were published in Nature raised questions about who made the jewelry. The experts agreed that there had been no sign of humans in the Altai cave, but at the time the bracelet was found, people had moved into the area. That's it for today. What do you think about this incredible discovery? Let us know in the comments section. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.